This started about 4 years ago when Sir John Lawton wrote his government white paper talking about making space for nature. It was picked up by Richard Benyon, and he launched what they call the nature improvement areas.
Back in 2011, when I designed this project, the farmers of the Marlborough Downs got together to turn nature conservation on its head. The Marlborough Downs NIA project is a bottom-up, farmer-led project. So the farmers got together and decided what they wanted to do on their land to support nature conservation. We identified 7 new wildlife sites, so 7 sites where we had really nice chalk grassland with good wildflower populations, which we didn't even really know about before, which is fantastic. Where we haven't got wildflowers, but we've got rough grasslands, such as up on the downs here behind us, we are trying to manage it to provide good habitat for small mammals, voles, field mice, things like that, which in turn provide food for birds of prey and owls. As well as grassland, we've put in a necklace of dew ponds across the downs. A lot of the downs were effectively a desert because there was no water. So consequently, we have restored or built 16 new ponds. So that's new reliable water sources. And now 86%, I think, of the total land area is within about a mile of a reliable water source, which is obviously fantastic for wildlife. So one of the biggest beneficiaries of that have been our farming birds. So we see a lot more birds where there's water, and particularly tree sparrows, which are one of our flagship species. As well as the water, they need insects to feed their young, so we've been planting nectar-rich mixes of legumes and clovers and knapweeds and all sorts of wildflowers. Plant big plots of crops which will have seed over the winter. They're not harvested, and so if you can imagine, they just become giant bird tables. We did open Farm Sunday in 2013, and we had 800 people through the door. Off the back of Open Farm Sunday, we decided that the public weren't that scary after all. And so we now run a full programme of events for families. We've done 115 events, I think, now, and touched over 4,000 people, which is absolutely phenomenal. We want to make sure that people have good access to the countryside as well. So obviously these people are interested, and we hope they're going to get out there and see what we've been doing. We've done a lot of work improving footpaths, putting gates in where there were stiles. We've also got a big link with Driving for the Disabled, which is a branch of Riding for the Disabled. They're based here in the Marlborough Downs up at Rockley. Initially, they had a 100-acre field to drive round. And through the project, we've managed to talk to a group of neighbouring farmers, and they now have access to over 8.5 miles of farm tracks, field margins, and other areas that they wouldn't get to otherwise. We've got specially adapted carriages. Just as easy to drive a carriage from a wheelchair as it is from a normal seat.
What this project has done is bring people together. If you allow the richness, the quality of the people who live in the community to become part of this concept, and this is what a community should be. This is something we can all believe in. But here we are at the end of 3 years, we have far exceeded everybody's expectation. There's a natural momentum to want to keep this going. And that's something we can really buy into. And when the government talks about health and well-being of the nation, we can supply an awful lot of that health and well-being. Get up on the downs as we are today, get some sun on your face and some fresh air in one's lungs. That's when you start to feel good. And this is what we can provide. And if we can do that with an education basis of learn about the landscape around you, learn about the wildlife, learn about what the farmers are doing, that's a real win-win.